I probably took a bullet to the head because of the things that they say about me. They talk about democracy. I'm a threat to democracy. They're the threat to democracy with a fake Russia investigation that went nowhere.
Thankfully, the former president is okay. And like you mentioned, this just happened 9 weeks after the first assassination attempt on the former president's life. And that happened at a rally in Pennsylvania. Now, this all happened around 1:30 when Secret Service said that they had shots fired. And officials say a witness saw a man running out of the bushes who jumped into a black Nissan. Secret Service opened fire as they were approaching that suspect, who CBS News sources say is Ryan Wesley Routh.
So 9 weeks after the first attempted assassination on Donald Trump, and about 15 minutes away from his home where he's trying to golf, he's trying to go par on the golf course, they literally try to take him out again the second time. The first time was in Pennsylvania. Now we're down at his home down in Florida, and this is insane. And apparently the vagabond that is Ryan Ralph is the guy who tried taking Donald Trump's life. And why don't we just hear words straight from his mouth so we can get an idea of where this dude's mind frame is at. And I direct you, look at his eyes. You could always tell the craziness of a person by looking into their eyes. They say it's a reflection of the soul, you know?
Tell me who you are and why are you here?
I'm 56, from the U.S., from North Carolina originally, so live in Hawaii now, so flew all the way from Hawaii here. So the question as far as why I'm here, to me, you know, a lot of the other conflicts are gray, but this conflict is definitely black and white. This is about good versus evil. This is a storybook, you know, any movie we've ever watched, this is definitely evil against good. I mean, we're battling a situation here where, you know, the Ukrainians and the rest of the world are caring and kind and generous and unselfish and take care of one another, and it's just a matter of, you know, we need to stand up for that. That is the most important thing in the world, is just to show human beings that we're kind and we're caring and that we take care of one another and that the world is united so that we feed each other and make sure that, you know, we all move forward as one collective whole unit. So, you know, we feel the pain of one country's failure and their conflicts, and we enjoy the successes of other countries that are doing good, and we all work together. And for some reason, Russia does not grasp this concept that we're all one unit, and we have to get along and work together and be normal human beings. This is 2022. We have to work together. It seems asinine that we have a leader in a country that does not understand the concept of being unselfish and being generous and being kind and just the basic moral values that are required by human beings these days. It blows my mind.
I can't be the only one who's sick and tired of the hypocrisy of the left, right? They call for peace, love, and positivity, yet when somebody comes across the table who has a difference in opinion, a difference in way of seeing things, they're the first one to grab the pitchforks, to light the fires, to hire the assassins to try to take people out. And it blows me away.
If you had to be stuck in an elevator with either President Trump, Mike Pence, or Jeff Sessions, who would it be?
Does one of us have to come out alive?
Are you picking up what I'm putting down? Even jokingly, just out in the open, they just bring up violence and laugh about it. It just blows me away. And if you just sit down and you listen to Trump, and I encourage anyone to listen to him on the long-form podcast, whether it be with Lex, whether it be with Theo, or even Aiden Ross, who's on the live stream, just sit down and listen to him. And yes, you're going to laugh because guess what? He is kind of funny, but he's also not afraid to talk policies and what he wants to do, and he's not doing it in word salad. Just listen to this.
And, you know, I went to some economists, great ones, and I said, what do you think? They said, it would be unbelievable. You'll get a whole new workforce by doing that. No taxes on overtime. The people who work overtime are among the hardest working citizens in our country. And for too long, no one in Washington has been looking out for them. Those are the people. They really work. They're police officers, nurses, factory workers, construction workers, truck drivers, and machine operators. It's time for the working man and woman to finally catch a break, and that's what we're doing because this is a good one. And I think it's going to be great for the country. So that's why we will be saying that if you're an overtime worker when you're past 40 hours a week, think of that. Your overtime hours will be tax-free. Okay? Good? You're going to have it too.
Now, I'm 30 now, and I'm blessed to be in a position where I'm on a great salary job with great benefits. But when I was in my early 20s, you best believe I would take any and every opportunity I could to get overtime just to try to make ends meet. So having tax-free overtime is huge. And hopefully this doesn't fall on the corporations to where it like forces people to cut back on overtime. But if it's just taxes, I don't think it's really going to force any of the corporations to try to mandate less and less overtime and be more restrictive with it. But this is about the assassination of Donald Trump. How the heck did we get here, and what did they find on Mr. Ryan when they did find him?
In the bushes where this guy was is an AK-47 style rifle with a scope, 2 backpacks which were hung on the fence that had ceramic tile in them, and a GoPro, which he was going to take pictures of.
And here's a look at that backpack and the other evidence law enforcement found at the scene. According to Secret Service, the suspect was about 300 to 500 yards away from the former president. Both President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris said they are glad that the former president is okay.
I am still trying to wrap my head around the fact that Trump is over here and he's just trying to make sure that he can get par, right? And all of a sudden he gets tackled because some motherfucker 500 yards away is trying to take his life. How did we get here?
How was this able to happen, and for future reference, is there any obscurity of the golf course?
Well, you got to understand the golf course is surrounded by shrubbery, so when somebody gets into the shrubbery, they're pretty much out of sight, all right? And at this level that he is at right now, he's not the sitting president. If he was, we would have had this entire golf course around it. Well, because he's not, the security is limited to the areas that the Secret Service deems possible. So I would imagine that the next time he comes to the golf course, there'll probably be a little bit more people around the perimeter.
I understand that he may not be the sitting president right now, but 9 weeks ago, if we can remember that far back, he did get shot at a rally that took the lives of 2 people who were there. So I just, why are we so reactionary when it comes to stuff like this? I just don't understand. And if you don't hate the mainstream media enough, I hope this is the turning point, because I don't. If you hate them, it's not enough. Let me tell you that first off.
Yeah. Do you expect there to be calls from within the Trump campaign to do that? Because he's going to reach out to his supporters and say, let's take this down. We do not know, again, the source of any gunshot or gunshots. We don't know who's responsible for this. The whole thing has yet to be 100% confirmed from start to finish how this all played out. But do you expect to hear anything from the Trump campaign about toning down the rhetoric, toning down the violence, or would that be atypical of the former president?
Well, Alex, remember back to the assassination attempt on President Trump's life and how, there was talk of a new tone, and then the Republican convention was, by Trumpian standards, muted. And it did seem like he was, just trying to take it down a few notches. But then by the end of his convention speech, we were kind of back to where we started. So I don't know how long this could, this moment of unity for the country where we come together and we say, I don't want any political opposition to be under threat of violence. It's not okay, any threat of violence, we don't want. I would love for us to have a unity type moment, but I think it's probably going to be pretty fleeting, as we've seen in the past.
At the end of the day, I hope that you can agree with me that this is bad. Trying to assassinate a political candidate as they're running for an election seems like something that wouldn't happen in America, right? That seems anti-democratic, but it's happening now. So please pull your head out of the sand and realize this is actually a pretty damn important election.
If you had to be stuck in an elevator with either President Trump, Mike Pence, or Jeff Sessions, who would it be?
Does one of us have to come out alive?